tell you a story about Denise. She lost her son on a 2-lane highway outside of Hattiesburg. 24 years old. Drunk driver crossed the center line. Her son was married, so Denise assumed his wife would handle it. File something. Talk to a lawyer. His wife never filed. A year went by. Nobody told Denise that under Mississippi law, she could file that lawsuit herself. As his mother, she was on the list the whole time. She lost critical time, not because her case was weak, but because no one told her she was allowed to bring suit too. I'm Mama Justice, and let me walk you through who can file a wrongful death lawsuit in Mississippi, how the money gets divided, and the deadlines that will shut you out. Because here's what most families don't realize. The other side already knows every one of these rules. I want to make sure you know them too. If your name is not on this list, you cannot file a wrongful death lawsuit in Mississippi. And if the right person doesn't step forward, nobody does, because Mississippi law says there can be only one lawsuit filed for each death. Here's the list. It comes straight from Mississippi Code 11713. Number 1, the surviving spouse. Number 2, a child of the person who passed. Number 3, a parent of the person that passed. Number 4, a brother or sister. Number 5, the personal representative of the estate. That's the person named in the will to handle final affairs. If there's no will, the court can appoint one. Now here's what a lot of people don't know. Adopted children have the exact same rights as biological children under this statute. Adoptive parents have the same standing as birth parents. And if there's an illegitimate child with established inheritance rights, that child is on the list too. That list is exclusive. The statute says so in plain language. If you're not on it, you don't have standing. A boyfriend, a girlfriend, an aunt, a cousin, a best friend who was like family, I understand the grief is just as real, but the courthouse door doesn't open for them under this law. Here's the trap. If someone outside this list tries to file a girlfriend, a cousin, a stepchild without legal adoption, the defense will move to dismiss for lack of standing. And while the court sorts that out, the clock keeps running on your deadline. Who can file? Spouse, child, parent, sibling, personal relative. Know which one you are before you do anything else. Filing the lawsuit and receiving the money are two completely different things. Mississippi law decides who gets paid based on who your loved one left behind, not who files, not who grieves the most. The statute sets the order. If the person who passed was married with no children, everything goes to the surviving spouse. If they were married and had children, the spouse and children split it equally. So if there's a wife and 2 kids, that's 3 equal shares. If they weren't married but had children, the children divided equally among themselves. If there's no surviving spouse and no children, then it goes to the parents and siblings, divided evenly. Let me make that real. Say a man passes and he leaves behind a wife, 2 children, and 2 sisters. A jury awards $600,000. His wife gets $200,000. Each child gets $200,000. His sisters, they get nothing. That's not a decision anyone made out of spite. That's just what the statute says. Now, here's why I'm telling you all this. Before you talk to anyone, when an insurance adjuster calls your family, and they will call, they already know exactly how this hierarchy works. They may approach the person who seems the most overwhelmed, the one most likely to accept a quick offer. And that person may not even be the one with the largest share coming to them. The adjuster isn't there to explain your rights. That's my job. What to confirm? Your position in the hierarchy before you talk to anyone from the other side. Mississippi allows only one wrongful death lawsuit per death. 1. That's it. But that doesn't mean only one person can be a part of it. The right beneficiaries need to be identified and brought into the case early. If a spouse files, other eligible family members may be able to join. But who belongs in that case depends on the specific family situation. And Mississippi courts take that question seriously. Before the case goes to trial, the court may require that the heirs and the wrongful death beneficiaries be formally determined. That's the court way of saying, prove to us who should be at this table. I'll tell you why that matters more than you think. Families believe they know exactly who the beneficiaries are, but Mississippi courts have seen cases where previously unknown children come forward during the process. Getting that determination done early protects everyone, including you. And here's what people miss. A family is always in a stronger position when the right beneficiaries are part of the case from the start. One person filing alone without the others identified and joined in means the other side is negotiating against a smaller table. You want a lawyer who's done this before, making sure that the right people are in the room. What to demand? That the right beneficiaries are identified and part of the case before any negotiations begin. When most people think about a wrongful death case, they think about one kind of money, what the family lost, their financial support, their companionship, their future with that person. And that's real, and it does matter. But there's a second category of damages that most families never hear about. It covers what your loved one went through before they passed, their pain, their medical bills, their suffering between the moment they were hurt and the moment they died. Mississippi allows both categories to be recovered in the same wrongful death lawsuit. You don't have to file two separate cases, but you do have to know to ask for it, because if you don't, that second category just disappears. In many cases, appointing a personal representative is the cleanest way to handle these decedent side damages and estate issues. But whether that step is needed depends on the facts of your situation, and that's something your attorney should sort out very early on. If you do nothing else, do this. Ask your lawyer whether your case includes both categories, because too many families settle for one and walk away from the other, not because they weren't entitled to it, but just because nobody explained it was there. What to preserve? Every single medical record, every bill, every documented hour of suffering. That's the evidence for damages that most families miss. Miss the deadline, and it does not matter who you are or how strong your case is. Mississippi will not let you file. The courthouse door closes and it does not reopen. There are 3 deadlines, and most families only know about one of them. The first deadline, 3 years from the date of death. That's for most wrongful death claims based on negligence, car accidents, truck wrecks, unsafe property. That comes from Mississippi Code 15149. The second deadline, some intentional tort-based death cases like assault, battery, and other similar claims listed under Section 15135. These can carry a shorter 1-year deadline, but not every intentional act falls under that statute. Some may still follow the 3-year rule. Which one applies depends on the exact legal claim, and that's something your attorney needs to sort out early on. The third deadline, medical malpractice. The general rule is 2 years, but when that clock starts running, whether it's from the date of the malpractice, the date of death, or the date the family reasonably should have discovered it, depends on the facts of your case. That is one question you need a lawyer to answer, not a YouTube video. And if the claim involves a government entity, a city, a county, a state agency, a police officer, the deadline may be as short as 1 year, with mandatory notice steps built in that have to happen even sooner. Now, here's the thing about deadlines that most people don't talk about enough. The statute of limitations is the last day you can file, but the evidence doesn't wait for you. Surveillance footage gets recorded over, witnesses forget details, phone records get harder to pull, the physical scene even changes. The legal deadline may be 3 years out, but the evidence deadline, that could be days. They already know. Now you do. What to confirm? Which deadline applies to your case? 1 year, 2 years, or 3? Get that answer before you do anything else. The biggest mistake families make after a wrongful death isn't hiring the wrong lawyer. It's assuming someone else is going to file. If you or someone you know is dealing with a tragedy like this, don't wait to get help. And if you want to protect your family's financial future even further, you need to watch the next video. 5 Secrets to Double Your Car Accident Injury Settlement. It's packed with strategies you won't hear anywhere else, and it could make a huge difference in your case. If you've lost someone you love because of another person's negligence here in Mississippi, call Mama Justice right now. Tell us who you lost. Tell us when it happened. We'll tell you where you stand, who should file, and what deadline you're up against. The consultation is free. The clock is not. I'm Mama Justice, and I fight like a mother of families just like yours.